is addressing a big situation everyone has noticed. We'll also take a look at what's going on with the Vision, AJ Styles, and more. Starting things off with Bayley in this situation that everyone has noticed, and that's how she's ignored and left out of the big promotional material. This is actually not that much of a new situation. This was a conversation everyone was having back in mid-2024, where Bayley was the reigning defending WWE Women's Champion, and still, you could not find her face on promotional materials, posters, graphics, commercials, or anything of that sort. Fans really highlighted that situation 2 years ago because they did find it pretty bizarre that the reigning Women's Champion was not featured or advertised on any promotional material for major upcoming events. Well, now here we are, 2 years later, and the same conversation is being had, this time in regards to the Women's WrestleMania 42 main commercial. The men's division had their commercial with their top stars, and then WWE came around a few weeks later and dropped a commercial for the women's division. The women featured in the commercial included Tiffany Stratton, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, Io Sky, and Liv Morgan, with someone like Bayley once again being nowhere near the commercial or any other promotional material for WrestleMania 42. And fans think it's a bit off and borderline disrespectful to someone of Bayley's level. Becky and Charlotte, two of the 4 horsewomen that are in WWE's WrestleMania trailer, so why couldn't Bayley and other horsewomen get a seat right next to them in the trailer too? This is a conversation that we had a few years ago, but even all these years later, Bayley still cannot make it to any of these major advertisements. So fans still don't know what's going on there and why she's still getting treated like that. We can't forget what happened just last year at WrestleMania 41. Bayley had a whole narrative going around about trying to make it onto the WrestleMania card, and she finally made it through the tag team with Lyra. Bayley was expecting to have a match at WrestleMania, had special ring gear made and everything, but at the last second, they took Bayley's WrestleMania match away and gave the spot to Becky's return. So there's been a lot of little things like that which have been piling up over the last few years. Well, Bayley is now just acknowledging the women's WrestleMania trailer and how she was snubbed from appearing in it. She took to social media to jokingly address the situation, saying that they're lucky she wasn't sitting at that table because she would have ate everyone's dinner. So even though Bayley was playful and joking about her absence in the trailer, fans still think it's another example of Bayley just getting disrespected since she's not being promoted and featured on material all these years later. As far as things go with Bayley right now in the ring, she's still in a tag team program with Lyra. Their main story at the moment is how their team is consistently overlooked for tag team title opportunities and how they can't get a shot for the titles. This upcoming WrestleMania season will mark 1 year since Bayley and Lyra first started teaming up together. The closest they ever got to winning the tag team titles would have been WrestleMania 41, but since Bayley was pulled from that match at the last second, it prevented that from happening. But they're trying to climb up the rankings again and get that opportunity for the tag team titles. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky just became the new champions, so that's who Bayley and Lyra would have to go after. And as far as Bayley's split personality persona goes, it's technically still there. It's not as exciting and in-depth that everyone thought it would be, but it's basically just a little mechanic for Bayley's character. If Bayley's losing, Lyra will slap her around and motivate her, and that leads to the aggressive side of Bayley coming out. But other than that, there's not much going on with this split personality trait. But we'll have to see if Bayley and Lyra can get their hands on the tag team titles in the near future. Things have definitely got a bit more crowded with Division in recent weeks. Following the exile of Seth Rollins, it was just Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman, which was a very strong duo under the leadership of Paul Heyman. But in the weeks leading up to War Games, we saw Logan Paul get added to the Vision and became a full-time member of the faction. And just recently, Austin Theory was added to the group. All great individual talents, but fans are questioning how well they'll blend together in a group. There's some fans that are already saying that the Vision just feels like a bunch of guys all put together with no real flow or chemistry. The chemistry was definitely there when it was the Bronze, but now with Logan and Austin coming in, they have to be worked into that chemistry, and fans just are not feeling that chemistry right now. It's still early, maybe that chemistry will be still worked on, but as of this moment, that's something that's constantly brought up by fans. The Division just feels like a compilation of a bunch of guys right now. Some fans are also mentioning how they feel like Bronson Reed has lost a lot of the spotlight as well, with Logan Paul and Austin Theory joining the fold. So there's a lot of fan criticism right now with the Vision. It's clear that Bron Breakker is the leader and the number one option, but fans definitely want to see more chemistry built amongst the group. As far as what's coming up for the Vision, everyone has a strong feeling that Bron Breakker is not done with the world title picture quite yet. Fans are still expecting Breakker to hang around the world title scene through WrestleMania and potentially get another shot at the title at WrestleMania itself. As far as other members of the group, they don't really have their own storylines right now. They're all supporting roles for Bron Breakker. But hopefully that changes here real soon, and we'll see other members get their own business and stories flowing. After AJ Styles and Dragon Lee lost the tag team titles to the Usos, it was reported that this was done in order to get AJ Styles back in the singles division and start working on his farewell tour, as he plans to retire this year. And it seems like we're already seeing what AJ's next big program could be, and that's a feud with Gunther. AJ Styles does not appreciate Gunther making fun of John Cena and disrespecting him. And since John Cena can't get any payback on Gunther, AJ Styles is making it his business to come after Gunther. They got into an intense stare down this week that ended with AJ slapping Gunther. Gunther then ratted Adam Pearce to demand a match against AJ Styles, and it was booked for the January 12th edition of Raw. A lot of fans instantly mentioned why the match was being wasted on Raw and not saved for WrestleMania. But it looks like the January 12th matchup will be used for a build-up for the actual feud and real match that will come more down the line. It seems possible that on January 12th it will include some wonky finish between AJ and Gunther, and that will really set the foundation for the feud to be extended. If Aleister Black and Damian Priest can get 6 months for their feud, surely AJ Styles and Gunther's issues with each other will not be resolved with just one match on January 12th. AJ Styles versus Gunther will no doubt turn into a long feud. Although fans are excited for AJ Styles versus Gunther, they hope that it's not the only thing AJ does in his final year in the ring. We still don't have any idea when exactly AJ Styles will actually retire. All he said was 2026. But given Gunther's new trait of retiring wrestlers, and John Cena's retirement being a focal point for this new feud, fans are getting the strong feeling that Gunther will retire AJ Styles and be his final opponent as well. So will Gunther and AJ feud for the first few months of the year, then get a WrestleMania match against each other, and AJ Styles will lose the match to Gunther and retire at WrestleMania? That's what it feels like right now, because AJ never made any promises that he's sticking around until the end of the year. So it's possible that WrestleMania against Gunther could be the final match for AJ. If AJ's final months here in the ring are going to be against only Gunther, that is a bit anticlimactic for AJ's farewell tour. Fans wanted to see him mix it up with a lot of opponents and get as many dream matches done before retiring. But as of right now, everyone's early prediction is that Gunther retires AJ Styles at WrestleMania 42. And hopefully that prediction is wrong, because if it is true, that means AJ's retirement is extremely close to taking place. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.